going to ask is how did we all go with the election coverage? Kieran probably paid the least attention, I would presume.
Yes. Yep.
How'd you find out?
Oh, people at work were talking about it. I hear it from them, and I was like, oh, that sucks. Well,
Yeah, that sucks.
Yep.
Man, I think I lost. I was like, I put my money where my mouth is. I think I put like $120 on Kamala.
Oh my god, fucking hell!
Yeah, but the odds, I was ready to make like $600. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, the odds were really good.
the odds were really good.
Kamala's problem was always going to be that she was connected to the current administration in America, and so people like the current like administration there has been like milk. It is bland and fucking. It is not aged well, as we know from Joe Biden. So the common person who just wants change looks at Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and sadly, they see Trump as change. When realistically, neither of them are really change in any kind of good direction. And I don't know. Let's not go too deep into politics of America.
No, let's go super deep. You know, that's
American
what people want to
politics
hear. They want to hear three straight Australians talking about American politics.
What do you want? I mean, my I don't think this is a hot take. My take, and it's probably the same reason that we'll elect Peter Dutton next year. I definitely feel like it's just, I don't think it's old people. I'm definitely now decided it's like you can see it's the young people, and everyone's just getting red pilled.
Well, it's not even the thing is, I guess the thing is, and I think we can compare it even. Like the Democrats in America are central; they're not left wing.
Well, currently, yeah.
Like currently, they are central as fuck, and it's been that way for a little while now. Almost the same thing as here. I don't see, like personally, when I look at the Liberals and Labor, I don't see much fucking difference between the two of them. They both kind of feel the same. Neither of them, like, kind of it.
Yeah, but my thing, I do not believe that any young people are actually like no one really pays attention to politics. What they pay attention to is what's a good like XQC does the thing of Donald Trump.
Like the big one is like,
you know
Aiden
what I mean?
Ross. Like Aiden Ross, like
Aiden Ross. You know what I mean? I definitely think that's the
no, but the thing is, well, the problem is, right, in America, voting is optional. Voting is optional, and there was
I don't know. I feel like you could go either way on that. Like,
no, but
there's also a lot of people in Australia I would like not to have a vote.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No.
No,
So voting is optional. I think the stats were like there was like something like a stupid amount of millions of people of voters that just kind of disappeared since the last election. Like they had, I think, and that was from both
conspiracy
sides.
theories.
There is
record turnouts everywhere. You get low number of voters.
Yeah, and like burning ballot boxes and all that stuff, and
all these people saying they can't find their votes on the vote tracker. You know,
yeah.
Elon Musk said he knew the results before everybody else. He's got magic app.
Elon Musk is definitely another big part of this that I think more people will be talking about in the months coming. Like how much, like in a world where people can't, like, there's like rules about like what you can do. You have someone who buys a social media app, which by all intents and purposes should still be a neutral ground for people to use, but then heavily like you can like I'm on the side of like, and I know this is like tinfoil hat, but I fully believe like he swung that so I was seeing more Donald Trump shit. Like I don't follow any Donald Trump shit, but I was seeing Donald Trump shit all the time. You know? Like you want to tell me that Twitter wasn't the algorithm wasn't changed? And then you got to ask the like legality questions of that. You know, so
my most frustrating thing, you know, that he had that sweepstake thing he was doing, like registered voters, or like if you sign a petition, or whatever.
Yeah.
You go into the running to win $1 million. Like they challenged it in court. It's like, nah, it wasn't a sweepstake. We handpicked everybody to win the lottery to be a spokesperson. So they literally it's frustrating because the Republicans have been lying to people's faces his entire campaign. Like, blatantly. About a freaking... Them eating the dogs, eating the cats, eating all the pets. About about the Democrats sending illegal aliens to go get transgender operations. A whole bunch of ridiculous, over-the-top crazy stuff.
My favorite thing is that someone's watched something like that, like him doing that bit where he's like, they're in there, they're eating the dogs, they eat a pet. I went, that's my guy.
Yeah. I believe this. It's got to be true.
Man. Fucking hell.
It's just, yeah, a incredible level of lack of critical thinking in America is...
I watched a video this morning where it was like, because there's a lot of, obviously after it came out that a lot of the he had like a huge like Hispanic like vote, obviously.
Mhm.
And then like there was an interview this morning of someone who was like, you know, that Donald Trump said that he's gonna like try and like, you know, like deport basically your grandmother and stuff if they're not like proper citizens and stuff. And then this woman was like, nah, he wouldn't do that. He's you know, it's
Well,
like,
that's the thing.
and
He
then they were
always
like,
came out
he
and
said
said-
it, it's here.
Well, he's also
You voted for him.
I read this morning he's also going to revoke that automatic citizenship for anybody born in America.
I mean, that's
He's
more
g-
difficult because that's in the Constitution, like, which is... to amend their Constitution is very difficult.
It is, but he says a lot of shit, and it's a lot of scary shit.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think someone said it best. The best thing we can hope for is that he just spends the 4 years golfing and doesn't do anything. He disappoints his supporters by not doing.
I just find it crazy that like somebody who was actively impeached post his
several times
post his like
Could technically be going to jail soon.
yeah
could
like,
technically go to jail.
Is like going again, but it's the thing where it's just like, for all the good that Kamala Harris was trying to do, I just think she just wasn't the person to be able to put Donald Trump down and to kind of win back the blue vote and to win back that favor in America.
I mean, I'm not.
Yeah. Why would that be? Is it because of her gender? Maybe. Is it because she's not a white person? Maybe. Is it because she's not an old... I don't know. I feel like there's an element of American culture that just it doesn't want change. It actually doesn't want change. It wants things to go back to the old ways. That's why we're currently in such a reboot nostalgia trip, even in media. It's like we don't want to risk trying anything different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guarantee no one that voted for Trump likes The Last Jedi, that's for sure. I bet you there's a correlation there.
Yeah. It's like a 1-to-1. Yeah.
Which is, and even at the same time, like all the, and I guess we'll talk about it, you know, on actual Arcade Couch, but like all the discourse around Dragon Age currently. And it's like, well, everybody just look at the, like, sorry, but Dragon Age has always been gay as hell. And it's okay. Like, it's always been that way. It's always had cheesy writing. It's always had diverse characters. Get over yourselves.
But I definitely I do think that, like, I think people are not taking, and this is also, I guess, part of the reason why I do definitely think Kamala is, and also the reason I think Peter Dunn will get in, is because people do not take it serious enough, the correlation between all of these events. The Last Jedi discourse, the gaming discourse around like anti-woke stuff, and then how it all ties in collectively to the culture. And then how these people vote. Because at the end of the day, the things we're talking about are the epitome of current pop culture, like, you know, like pop meaning popular culture. So if you have the outrage over something like Last Jedi, and like, you know, people being like, this thing's woke and whatever else, like Dragon Age currently, it's like that's the people, like that is the loudest voice, and that's who's out there. So like, but people go, oh, but it's just because they're talking about movies and games and stuff. I swear they're like, that doesn't matter, doesn't care. I'm like, they're the people though, like that should tell you something.
I don't know. I feel like the majority of people just don't care about any social issues. Their number one priority is them and theirs, their family, their wallet, and they'll go wherever they think is best,
Yeah, well, like how Trump's going to, he's going to put the tariffs on and he's going to charge
But
the
Dylan,
Chinese.
it was better 4 years ago. I was making my wage went further 4 years ago before a massive worldwide pandemic and the massive invasion in Russia and trade
It's crazy
suddenly
how
cut
these
off
things,
in
it's
that
crazy how
country,
these things affect.
and the
So
bird flu causing all these eggs to be scarce,
you know what's going to
causing
happen?
eggs to go up.
Here's going to be the funniest thing. Because, again, like how these type of people. Here's what's going to happen. Trump's going to put in all these tariffs and video game console prices are going to go up again. And then all these people are going to like spit the
They
gooey
won't blame.
about that.
They won't. No, they're not going to blame
him.
Donald. They'll blame Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah, they'll blame like Sony or something like that, and then they'll be like, "No, it's because this motherfucker here like increase the tariffs, which means we got to charge you fucks more." And they'll be like, "That's not how it works." Because I saw this video also where someone on the street was like, "Yeah, man, I'm voting for Trump because I'm in it for the people, and I just want to make sure we get paid right, and about the tariffs and stuff." And the dude's like, "Well, we pay that, right?" And he's like, no, they pay that. He's like, why would the other company pay that? We're importing their goods. He's like, well, who's going to pay that money then? And then the dude's like, well, Trump hasn't said, but presumably he's just going to increase taxes on certain people to cover the costs. He's like, nah, that's not.
No, it's going to be the end consumer. Prices are going to go up to cover the tariff. It's like after the election, like the Google search for what are tariffs went up considerably. Yeah. It is ridiculous.
I think after the election, it was not before.
Yeah, no.
After
everyone's voted in, they're like, wait, hold on, what have we done? I think for me, I remember last time being so disappointed and being like, man, like what the fuck is the world going to? Like, this time I was just like I was like,
that seems about right.
That seems about right. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, that's Last time I remember just being like actually shocked. Last time I was like, there's no way, no fucking way. Like, I was like, I think Americans are pretty dumb sometimes, but there's no way. This time I was like, nah, that's My view on yous are that yous are pretty fucking dumb. So that's where we are. But again, I'm saying that in a way where I'm saying we're also now getting the bleed through of your dumbness because you our entertainment and social subculture.
Yeah.
So now it all bleeds through to the rest of the world, and that's how Boris Johnson got elected and how we get Potato Head in and whatever else. These are all related to me. I don't
know because Britain eventually rejected Boris Johnson.
They'll probably go back that way now.
I don't know that it's a given that Pete Dutton's going to suddenly get in office. He's not.
I reckon Pete Dutton's going to get
charismatic in any way.
He's going to get in there and say, "Big and
I don't know.
jobs."
It's not going to be because Pete Dutton's a better option. It'll just be if fucking Anthony Albanese keeps fumbling, just in every aspect of his entire being.
Well, how do we feel about the internet ban?
Well, it doesn't affect us directly, but I guess
but imagine if he was a kid.
The thing is, my biggest one is like the effect of like
what's the point of this? I don't.
Listen, I don't think. No, I think we all agree it's not going to be possible. Just base level, there's no way to implement it. So it's a pointless. It's like it's good in a way that they're saying, for the people who because obviously the rationale behind it is there is a lot of online bullying on social media that's causing a lot of children to commit suicide and that kind of thing, and we also know that it causes Instagram algorithms or whatever cause body dysmorphia amongst teens. It is trying to combat that in some sort of way, incredibly extreme way. But I think it comes from a good place, but there is actually no way it's possible.
And it's like I understand if they'd just be targeting social medias in forms of like X and like Facebook and stuff like that. When it's now falling into video games and then that side of things for like,
I'm cool with it. Get those kids off that multiplayer gaming. Give us a chance.
That's the thing for me.
Sure, we'll never produce a pro esports player, but
that's my big thing. And maybe that's just because of my love of esports. I'm like, bro, we're already handicapped enough as it is as a country when it comes to esports. Let's not fuck us even more by taking away any people that have potential.
Just have to play LAN.
Cracked.
Yeah.
Speaking of, sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say, as someone who sort of grew up on the internet a bit, like was like, and definitely like I remember being, like I'd walk around with my friends and I was before you could there's Twitter apps and stuff. I'm fucking like texting. Like, you used to have to text your updates to a certain number or like auto post to your Twitter and all these sorts of things. So someone who's grown up like super embedded into all this sort of shit and like under 16, I was like, I cannot imagine personally. Now I understand it's very different now, and there's always that warning of like, be careful on the internet. There's stranger danger and stuff. But like, I'm like, man, like so much of my life pre-16 was social media, YouTube, all that sort of stuff.
And
like,
and even if you ban it from that, there's stuff like fucking Club Penguin, fucking Haribo Hotel when we were kids, like fucking
Neopets,
like Neopets, like even the case of like.
Well, I mean, Club Penguin turned into a pedophile.
Yes, it did, 100%, which was bad. But like, they'll always find a way for kids. Like even like when we were kids, like it was either, it depends how old you are, but like AOL or MSN or like all these
I used to get home
IMAs.
from school, jump straight on the MSN.
Used to sit there and like flick yourself offline and online to be like, hey, see, a little thing pops up to try and get somebody's attention.
Well, what'd you do today? I went to school. What'd you do today? I went to school also. That's great.
Didn't we see each other? Are we in the same
Yeah, I
class?
saw you 20 minutes ago. Blah blah blah. Blah. Yeah, it's 100% that again. And it's that. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of hard because like I do wonder like if they and again I'm definitely on the side of I don't think they could actually implement this, but I'm just like thinking in a world where somehow they managed to implement it, or at least say 90%.
They'd have to
There's a
like
10% that are smart enough to work around it with VPN or whatever, but like there's
it would be like they'd have to do something equivalent to like erecting the Chinese like firewall, but around Australia and for Australians, which is never going to happen. No Western civilization is ever going to accept that or take that on board. Like, it just won't happen. So, yeah.
It's just it's I also think like there's lots of like negatives and positives to social media, and like you can debate those for days on end, but like the fact is the world today, like especially if you're a young person growing up, your social life is basically reliant on social media, to a degree, as sad as that is, but that's just the full stop, right? So I'm like, what? So you take that away, and like, if you're not 16, what? You're like, I'm like, what they do? So they're texting, but there's no like, but then they're like, oh, I have to text. Like, there's no group chat. I know, it's just like all these things I start
There
thinking
would be
about. Like,
group chat, right? Oh no.
yeah, but you can't with all these numbers, and then you know what I mean. Like, it's just all
You
these
have
little
to
things.
like you have to get an app dedicated to group chat.
Yeah, I just think like
I guess.
Like I know that it's like, yeah, there's all these positives that could come out of it, but I'm also like negatives too. Like you're taking away something that is for I would say 10, 15, 20 years now at least become such a ingrained part of social life for
But
everyone.
again, maybe that's a positive. These people meeting other people in real life.
I don't know. You rip it out just like that. It's like pulling the carpet from it. It's like there's nothing left to catch them there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. It's
tough for like the 15 and 16-year-olds, but for the 7, 8, 6, and
now,
8-year-olds,
if you grow up without it, that's a different story, I think.
Yeah.
But if you're old enough to know and it's ripped away, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
that's very different. That's an abrupt.
But then they also just have to wait.
I know, but it's like it's
a very short period.
I don't like the idea.
It's very confusing.
I don't like the idea of abruptly changing young people's ability to like if a young person's being like their social life is around that and the ability to talk to their friends. I do think that ripping that away for some people would be like fine, whatever, they'll find a way. For other people, depending on how their brains are built, that could really negatively affect them. And have bleed-through effects. So there's lots of things I'm like, I don't know if they've properly thought about this. I don't know. So
again, it's not going to happen, so it really doesn't matter. It's just like they're saying they're doing something which will appease some people.
Yeah, but it's like it's just a bunch of it's just like Karen white people. You know what I mean? Like it's the older. It's just the people like the internet's bad. It's ruining our children. Like, can't they go back and just listen to music without swear words? I don't. You know what I mean? Like it's like
they're the vocal minority who apparently sway elections. So
I guarantee everyone in Queensland, Northern Queensland, loves this shit. Ash is what I'm.
Probably, every time you see the paper, it's like these fucking kids. They're trying to kill us all.
Yeah.
Not getting any jail time. Okay. Roaming youths destroying everything.
Yeah. But then
Maybe
also,
if they were online more, then they wouldn't have.
I have these kids coming to work all the time, right? They're fucking little Lachey kids, like stealing shit and stuff. I'm like, you take this away from them, then their life isn't suddenly gonna. They'll be in the next day, even if this did work, still trying to fucking steal my power banks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the like. If you're like, well, this will fix them. Like, it's not how it works. Like, in it. Oh, I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. I don't like one of the things I don't like is like so many of the rules is like I feel like so much gives an out to parents so they don't have to
that's
be
what it all
parents.
boils down to. Yeah, parents not wanting to parenting.
Like it's and I think it's so common nowadays where it's like whether it's like education systems or governmental systems like feel the need to step in and do the job that fucking 10, 20 years ago was just done by parents.
Yeah. Because if you're like, man, my kid was on this weird app, something that's like that, and they're 12 years old, it's like, well, where the fuck were you? Like, what were you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you can
Where
put
were you
child.
doing?
You can also put like they can't just install an app on there. There's all these child lock tools that you can put a passcode on, so they can't install apps without you. You like, how the fuck is a 12-year-old? Like, you hear these weird stories about kids just like installing stuff, but like I know that phones, and I know this one I'll definitely say that Apple does better than Samsung, and you can't fucking fight me on it. Apple has so many like parental tools and options available on their phone that like you could lock that motherfucker up like a hard case. So yeah, it's fucking lazy ass parents, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they're so against every LGBTQ thing in church or in schools, because they're like, I don't want to have that conversation.
Yeah, it's like
I don't want to parent it anyway. I don't want to.
That's honestly how I take it too. I do feel like it's some parents are legit afraid that if their kids are taught about the idea of being gay and they sit there and go, I actually think that might be me, and then they go home to their parents and say, I think I'm gay. They're like, I don't want to have that conversation. Like, it's just so if it's never mentioned,
yeah,
they'll never question it.
I don't want them to be teaching sex in school. You know, same thing. I don't want to have that conversation.
But they already teach sex in school. We got the I remember grades.
No, not for little kids. You know, they want year 12. That's when they want the sex education.
Ridiculous.
When they've already done it and half the kids are pregnant. Then they'll all die.
Sometimes
from sepsis.
Sometimes I try and like look back and pinpoint like what year did we start this broom downhill decline? You know what I mean? Like, what was the last? There has to be a year that if people could look back through history, and this is the hard part because I do think there's many events involved. It's not just a political.
Yeah,
thing. It's a social pop culture. Like, there's lots of many things, but there has to be a point somewhere where it's like, this year is when this thing, and this thing happened, and that was like the ripple effect that sort of.
Well, I think there's one major one. September 11, I think, instilled a lot of fear in Americans that they never had before, and they didn't know how to properly place it.
Well, yeah, and the answer to that is just remove anyone that's not white from your country.
Fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a real like.
It is a real way people think. It's just
but the white people shooting up their schools, they're fine. They're just good kids.
Having automatic guns accessible to everybody. Great plan. Great idea.
Anyway, what a world we live in.
Do you guys after Arcade Couch, do you guys want to play some like League of Legends or something?
Fucking hell. Let's record Arcade Couch.
And then League of Legends.